So hi, one of the Good Nights podcast with AVAT. We're gonna ask them some questions today. I'm gonna start. So what inspired you guys to start the band, and what does the band name mean?
Oh, really, it's more you.
Ooh, okay. So, what inspired us to start the band? Well, we love making music, right? We have a lot of history as far as, doing that. Everybody's been in band or chorus at some point. Um, even, stage performances and drama and that kind of stuff. And we all met through various friends and got together around 2015 and finally solidified as the group that we are today. Um, as far as what inspires us to make music, is that what I heard? Everything, right, John? I mean, everything inspires us. It's not necessarily one subject that we
Yeah.
like to touch base on, and we're very dynamic as far as how we write.
Hmm.
And then
And
the
the
band
band
name.
name.
And the band
What
name.
does it mean?
So the band name actually came about from an old member who's no longer in the band, but they had decided on a victim, a target, and that was based off of the Misery Signal song, and that's how that came about. We eventually decided to move it as an acronym, just so that we could kind of start our own ideal and our own representation of ourselves. But we didn't mind the name at all. We all love Misery Signals, so I mean, we thought it was fitting, definitely.
Yeah, that's really cool. I didn't know it was an acronym. So a victim, a target.
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
we say AVAT, for short,
Hmm.
kind of like how other users would pronounce AFI and that kind of stuff.
Okay, that's sick. Okay. So congrats on your most recent single release, Dead or Alive. How do you felt the response to it so far?
Oh, it's been great so far, honestly. I mean, there's been tons of people that have been telling us how they love the song, they love jamming out to it. So, I mean, we've been getting a lot of love from people, at least about it.
Absolutely. Um, Throughout the comments, we've been reading through all of them on different mediums, and it's been overwhelming, just to say the least.
Well,
I'm
that's good
very
to
happy
hear.
to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about your writing process for that song?
So for Dead or Alive, um, in general, we try and do a kind of like idea through a riff, and they'll kind of feed it back to me. Um, and I'll start to write my vocal melody or pattern and try and expand on that. So I'll usually record some ideas and then toss back and forth between the fellas and I through Dropbox and that kind of stuff. And we'll kind of work and pick out a song until we're happy with it. Until then, the label finally tells us, "Hey, this sucks,"
Yeah,
and we'll have to go back to the drawing board. But
Yeah.
for the most part, that's how we have done Dead or Alive. And at one point, we did revisit a lot of the song in general because we wanted to make sure that everyone could grasp at straws when listening and be able to relate to it.
Yeah.
So a lot of the vocals there, the lyrics, took us a second passing in order to get that right.
Hmm. All right.
yeah. I mean, I think the time that we demoed that song was like maybe a couple of years ago, at least the earliest version from what I can remember.
Oh, wow.
And then we basically kind of threw that out to Rolly, and he threw something back at us, and then it's been worked on as we played it live, together. It's changed a lot over the years, but I mean, we finally got to something where we really liked it. So
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Can you tell me where your headspace was while creating that song? You said it was a couple years ago, like the first demo.
Ugh.
But
Yeah,
if
I
you can
mean,
remember.
no, I remember that night, but I mean, we kind of just wrote something that sounded really cool, and I remember taking a couple riffs together and kind of putting them in an order that kind of made sense,
Mhm.
and that sounded really cool. And it was maybe, I think that first clip that we sent was maybe a minute long. Do you get what I mean? It was maybe just up to that first chorus, and that's where we kind of realized where it could be a real song, So where our headspace was at. I don't know. We kind of just wrote something that sounded really cool. We were
That's
like, this
fair.
is
Yeah.
really great. You know, it was one of those moments where we're like, oh, hey, this works. Ooh, that sounds really cool too.
Ooh, yeah.
All right, let's see if the guys like it, you know? So
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fair.
we'll go through that. As far as lyrically speaking, you know, I was going through a lot of strife at the time personally with a relationship of mine, and I I felt that I needed to write about that experience and what that meant to me. I didn't really later find out that, you know, when I was first writing my lyrics, I tend to do that more metaphorically, subconsciously, and I get it down on paper because of the rhythm pattern or melody. And so I'll kind of like um, just do that a cappella sometimes and start to pull out ideas. And as I started to transform the song, I started to realize what it was about. It wasn't until we were finished with the song and tracking that all the guys were like pointing other aspects of the song out to me. And I said, well, okay, maybe we need to go back and touch, you know, the lyrics again and really give it that emphasis. So it you know, goes through a lot of trials and tribulations within a relationship, and just kind of like losing yourself, you know, as far as like how much do you give from your personality, how much do you give out of your life to make someone else happy, and when should you expect, you know, that reciprocation, you know? So that's where I was, and it was definitely a tough time.
Wow. All right.
All right. So what band or artist influences do you think you can hear the most in this track?
Ooh.
there are a lot of Kill Switch, honestly.
Kill Switch.
Yeah.
I personally like to listen to a lot of Avenged Sevenfold.
Ooh.
So you might hear a little bit of that there. And Metallica. I think Metallica as well.
Oh yeah, I guess that's all a really big influence for all of us, you know.
As it should be.
All right. So this one should go like super, super fast. Off the top of your head, I want you both to describe this new single for new listeners in 3 words. As fast as you can.
Ooh. Put it on the spot.
Heavy,
Yeah.
So
fast,
Heavy, fast.
and thick.
I like that.
Okay.
All right.
Thick with how many C's though?
It
All
is
right,
with
all right,
at least
all right.
3.
So
3.
At least
Okay.
3.
Solid.
At least
solid.
3.
it's definitely melodic,
Melodic.
powerful, and
Powerful.
engaging.
I really like that one. Melodic,
Yeah.
powerful, engaging. That's good. That's a good one.
So in that same vein, is there a certain feeling you want your listeners to have while listening to the track?
I leave that open to the listener. I think there's so many walks of life that it's really hard to pinpoint one's emotions to a specific song. And in general, a lot of people can feel, you know, a certain way, but then, you know, there are those that really see a song for what it is and just know that it speaks to them on that personal note. You know, maybe they went through something that was difficult and they can relate it to that event in their life. So as far as I wish that our listeners could come away with it and feel empowered that they don't have to settle in their life for someone that's going to either berate them or belittle them or keep them down. You know, I think that's important, and that they should have self-value and love.
Yeah. Wow. So it's like an empowering piece, I guess.
It's not that it's empowering, but it does open up the realization to really think about your existing relationship and whether or not you can feel that self-worth, you know, and whether that's being reciprocated from your partner.
Okay, that makes sense. So is this song leading up to anything bigger, as in like an EP, album, or just straight up a collection of songs that you're planning on releasing?
Well, we definitely have a lot more songs we want to come out with. Whether or not we come out with an EP or an album, we're not exactly too sure with in the
Okay.
future. I mean, we'd love to do those things.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure eventually, but in the near future, I guess we're not so sure. I know we have a lot of more songs that we're pretty close to hopefully finishing, and so we can drop soon. So
Yeah, I mean, we're working on some big projects right now. We're going to be releasing a track here soon. I can't really say the name because it hasn't been decided upon what it's finally going to be, but we know that it's being worked from Josh Wilbur, the producer. He's helping us with that, and we're in the final stages of that before we send it to master. So that's exciting. We have that up on the horizon, and then we're also working on a few tracks with vocalist Phil Labonte from All That Remains.
Very exciting.
Yeah, it's huge.
So where do you guys see the band in the next 5 years?
On the road.
yes,
Definitely.
Period.
On the road, supporting albums, supporting each other, and living the life that and I hope that that our fans will agree that they will allow us to live, because we wouldn't be able to do that without them.
Yes, absolutely.
Solid. All right, excited to see you guys on the road. Hopefully soon, if COVID allows.
Barring the world opens up
Hey,
again.
Yeah,
we'd love to go, honestly,
definitely.
in a safe way.
Of course, yeah. Kind of suck if it was unsafe. So for the last couple questions, we're actually going to shift away from music, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, cool. So we're going to go straight to death row.
Boom!
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Big boom.
Oh man.
I already know. It's going to be a juicy steak, some fettuccine Alfredo,
Okay.
and a huge Coke.
That sounds delicious.
Solid.
Yes.
Definitely for the drink, I'd have to have a Coke.
Okay. So are you both sponsored by Coke? Is the band
Oh,
sponsored?
I wish. I
No.
wish.
Soon.
Actually, I used to love Pepsi for the longest time. Don't get me
I'm
wrong.
glad you got better.
For the longest time, and I don't
feel
know,
so
like,
unsettled that you
the
said
drinks
that.
go
Honestly.
well with certain things. So
Yeah, that's fair.
but
You mean Coke,
definitely
right?
I'd have that. As far as eating, man, so many great choices, but probably I'd have to have like a dry cured steak that's been like sitting there for at least 60 days with, I don't know, I recently had a really nice polenta that I can recall, and that was fantastic. So I would say maybe polenta with a nice juicy steak. I think I could go well off with that.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Fictional world. Damn, guys.
I got the hard
So many
question.
So many
Okay.
bad ones.
Oof. I'll give you my favorite universe, which would be the Harry Potter world.
Taste, as it should be. Yep.
And more
I was gonna say
recent, I've been watching his Dark Materials, and I really enjoy the way that they're doing that series right now.
Okay. Wait, so for Harry Potter, what's your house?
Slytherin.
I was placed into Hufflepuff.
As you should be. Hufflepuff best house.
No way. Were you placed in the Hufflepuff too?
Yeah.
Is that why you're saying these things?
Oh yeah. Hufflepuff is the best house. By far.
Awesome.
Yep.
I was placed in the Slytherin.
Oh, Slytherin's good too.
Oh yeah.
Slytherin's great. Yeah.
I'm sure everybody says that, you know.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. And what was your choice, Jonathan?
Well, I was actually gonna say Harry Potter too. 'Cause
Wonderful.
It's probably one of the better universes where you're not gonna get killed.
Exactly. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
go the couple years after Harry leaves, or the couple years before. You know, so you skip
Well,
out
we're
on
here-
all that.
Well, with the
We're here in
time
the States, so it didn't even. We're here in the States, so none of that affected us here.
You got a point. You got a point. I completely that went over my head. All right. So I have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person we've actually spoken to has said it's the most important question. What is your favorite color?
It's black.
Oh,
Black. Okay, that's fair. Fair.
my favorite color
Mm-hmm.
is midnight blue.
Midnight blue. Taste.
That's
It's a
solid.
good color.
It's very
We haven't gotten
specific.
that one in a while. Yeah.
So as Glory said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything you would like to plug?
Absolutely. We'd love for our listeners to listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, or Deezer, whatever their choice. Follow us on social media at AVAT Music on Instagram. That's probably our most active right now. And we're also on everything else. So, I mean, if you guys want to drop us a line anywhere, we're going to respond. So, and watch all our videos. Those are very important. Share it with your friends.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for sitting down with us, guys. This has been AVAT and We're the Good Noise podcast.